Today's spreadsheet, we're going to look at all of the quests that are currently defined in 3D Game Lab. We're going to try to figure out how many categories there are. We're going to use the formula unique. Okay, so we're going to find how many are unique. And then we're going to use count A, which just counts how many blank spaces there are. And then we're going to use a very useful concept in computer science. We're going to do something like this. We're going to say equals, so we'll leave out that equal sign so we get a bigger thing. Count A, so we're going to count, but what are we going to count? Instead of counting a range, we're going to say count the unique ones, let's say from a column F2 to F100. So that's what we're going to try. We're going to try to put two commands together. Okay, so in other words, the unique will give us which out of that column are different, so it won't put any duplicates, and then we'll pass that to count A. So this is the technique that we want to use for ourselves. So here's our spreadsheet, and so I got this from 3D Game Lab, and it's all of our quests. Okay. Now I know that a lot of you probably say, well, I don't have anything to do. You know, I've got all my work done, but of course, hopefully your parents will say, well, let's take a look at the quests. Well, you might say to yourself, well, how many different quests are there? Okay, so we'll start out by looking at the quests. So they're in E, and you look at if we look at the formula there, we're going to use this unique. And if we know that we can go to the very bottom of the column, we can say unique from E2 all the way to E. So that means just to the bottom, instead of saying E100 or something. So we don't, or actually it's 600 something. We don't have to look. So we say E2 to E. Okay. So we're going to try that. And so when we say that, I'll put the equal sign in front. And here's what we get. We get this list of quests. And so these are the different quests. And you see there's just one of each. So there's all kinds of 24 game quests over here, we see. But 24 game appears just once in our list. So it's very handy. So you might say, well, my parents are asking me how many categories are there? Okay. And so what we could do is we could say count the categories. Okay, so I'll put that in small. Count categories equals. And to do that, we can do that count A, and we can just say how many are not blank. And let's see, so that's in column L. So we could say L, looks like 1, 2, 3, the fourth, starting at the fourth, and we can go to the end of it. And let's see how many we get. Okay, so we'll put our equal sign in front. So there's 53. Okay, but let's suppose that you didn't need this list, that all you wanted to know was how many are unique. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take the two formulas and put them together. So we'll say we'll put the unique inside of the count. It's a very powerful concept. If you get this, then you're on your way to becoming a computer programmer. Okay, so our formula will look like this. We're going to say count A of unique, and unique was in E2 to E. So we'll say send to my count command whatever comes out of the unique command. So it'll give us this list here, okay, but it won't print it out. It won't print it out. Okay, so let's put our equal sign at the beginning of it and see what we get. And we see that we also got 53 there using the count unique. And just as one review, let's say that we wanted to highlight the quest that got a rating of 4 or better. Okay, so we'll highlight this row of ratings, and we'll go to our conditional formatting. So we say format conditional formatting. format conditional formatting, and we're going to add a rule in there. Okay, so we'll add a new rule, and the new rule is, in this range, if it's greater than or equal to 4, if it's greater than or equal to 4, we'll pick out a nice bright green color. Okay. So we picked out a nice bright green color if we've got a rating of 4 or better. Okay. And you might say, well, those are the ones that we're going to look for. So why don't you try and do that, and then if you can, try and do another use of the unique and count. Okay, so why don't we have that point totals. So see if you can get how many different unique point totals there are. Okay, so we see there's many 25s and 50s, so we'd count 25 once, 50 once. So that would be your additional quest. Try and get your point totals and how many different ones there are. See if you can just get the count of how many different ones there are using count A and unique.